everyone, Kia koutou, Pub. My name is Rhys Jones. I just said some Welsh and I've created this video for you to get you to think about using Zoom for your teaching. So let's begin the magic. Now I have a PowerPoint that I've created for you. So I'm just going to flick onto that. So Zoom is, I'm going to show you how to use the basic version, which is the free version. I've been using it for several weeks now. I really like it. I think it's pretty easy to use, fairly straightforward, and you can't really using it, you can't really do any damage or anything scary with it. So that's quite a nice thing, I think. It encourages you to experiment and play with it. So when you actually once you've downloaded your Zoom, you have it on your laptop or tablet, wherever you're using, when you launch it, you'll be presented with these options. Now, thinking about in your actual lessons when you're creating them, you will either be doing them perhaps as live versions where you'll have students actually sitting there listening during the session, or you might be producing sessions that you're recording and then you'll provide links for your students to access them later. Now, in either case, if you are producing, doing live sessions, I would still, obviously you're still going to record the session. So I would still provide those links to students afterwards so they can listen back to stuff that you've gone through. So what you want to do, the first thing you want to do is click on this, if you click here, this top right little symbol. This is settings, and it's really useful just to have a play around with this, have a look at what each of these things do here. I mean, even if it doesn't, some of it doesn't make sense to you, just have a look. The virtual background is pretty cool. You can click on it, you can see I've got some a quatty and a monkey who are interacting with each other. And so you can change it to some dynamic backgrounds or to them. Students seem to love them. It's up to you. You might think they're going to distract your students, but it's up to you to do that. So when you come on to click new meeting, the first thing you want to think about is actually providing access so your students can actually join your session. Okay. So once you click on new meeting, it will take you to this screen, and there's a few options here. So you can click on invite participants. And here you might either have a saved contact list, so you might have your students saved in here, or you can actually click on the email tab here, and you can put your students' emails in and send them out a link to the live session. Or what you can do is copy invitation or copy URL, and then you can paste that into Outlook or whatever email software you're using, and then it will give you the URL here. So this is the URL that students will click on in their web browser, or when they go on to, when the students open up their Zoom, click on join, they can click on join, then they will need to use these two things here, the meeting ID and password. So you've, once you've done this, so either you can schedule a specific date and time or recurring time, or you can use your own personal ID. So students will log on to this. So they'll put in the ID, and you don't have to have a password if you don't want to. But it makes it safe and it makes it encrypted. So once you've got your class set up, you think, well, what am I going to do now? How am I going to actually run the session? So once you click on that new meeting, you click on this new meeting button here, this one here, it will take you to this screen. So you'll see that. And I often start off my sessions with just me and my full face, a full frontal face, and chatting with my students. Or if it's a pre-recorded session, I'll perhaps say something about how my day's going or what I've been up to, asking them more kind of generic questions about their well-being. I've started doing some activities for them, like playing a tune on a keyboard and asking them to guess what it is. And I set up some Google Sheets and provided them with links so they can add their answers. So you can think about different things like that if you want to. But once you've, or we'll just say you also have to press record right at the beginning when you start the session, so it's recording it. Okay. So yeah, just click on record. Really important. So once you press record and you've given your spiel and you've said hi to the students, they might be interacting with you and talking to you. There's a function on here where you can actually only have it so you're presenting to the students and they don't have any option to for you to see them or for them to speak. So in that case, you can just use the chat function here, and then students could perhaps ask you questions if you want to do it like that. So then you click join with audio computer, and what you want to do then, so you've already clicked record, you want to click on this thing here, share screen. So there's a few options here. You can use the whiteboard. So if you want to actually use your screen as a whiteboard, like you would in a classroom, and write some formula down or diagrams, you can do that. Whenever you want to do a new share screen, you just go back to here and click share screen. I often just use this one here, screen. So what happens when you click on that, the whole of the outside of your screen will go this green color just to tell you that Zoom is recording what's on there. So anything you pop up onto your screen, like a PowerPoint, a Word document, anything will be recorded. I think it's pretty neat. But you can go back and specifically choose things like Word documents or whatever you're looking at. Now, at this point, when you click in share screen, if you want the students to hear the sounds coming in from your computer and you want it to be played in the recording as well, just click on that share computer sounds. So sometimes I have like YouTube clips or songs that I get students to ask me if they want me to play them for them for a few minutes, then that's up to you. Okay, so during your session recording, once you've clicked on share, you can change the size of this. So you change the size of you speaking. So if you want to make that bigger, so you want to do a plenary or at some point kind of refresh over certain areas, you can make it bigger and make it smaller again. You can also minimize and maximize that if you want to. So as I said, you can go back and do a new screen share at any point and click on whiteboard or some of the other things like perhaps a web page or whatever. So during your video, this kind of box down here will appear here, and when you hover over it, it will give you those options. So you can look at chat, what people are saying. You can manage participants. If some of the students perhaps have joined late or they're waiting to enter, you'll see the number change. So you can click on here and you could admit people into the class at certain points. But this won't be recorded. It won't show up in the video, this bar here, during your recording, which I think is good. So once you finish your session and you finish your lesson, you go down to click to end meeting, and it'll ask to end meeting for all. And when you do, it says that the recorded file will be converted to MP4 when the meeting ends. And when you do that, this progress bar will pop up, and it will show you if it's quite a long video, it will take a bit longer. And you can also, it'll ask you where you want to save it to. You can specifically choose a place to save it. So I've chosen it on my OneDrive. I think it's useful to save it on things like a OneDrive because you can provide a link then to your students so they can access these videos and download them as well if they haven't got a great internet connection, for example, and can't stream it. They can download it and then watch them at another time. So that was a whistle-stop tour of using Zoom. As I said, I think it's a pretty easy, straightforward thing to use. Have a play around with it and see how you get on. So thanks for listening, and hope you have lots of fun times with Zoom.